Hi everybody!
Love is in the air and all that other bullshit. I'm not usually one to celebrate Valentine's Day, mostly because I'm a member of Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Heart Club Band. But we all know YouTubers do stuff for most special occasions, and I figured you guys deserve 2 videos on the same day from me. The second video will be going live about 4 hours after this one. That character will also be on that list, but she's the last entry. Also, let's face it, even if you don't want to admit it, you probably have a video game waifu or husbando. Yes, I see all of you with your favorite body pillows. With that out of the way, let's get into the list. Also keep in mind, this list is in ascending order, so lowest characters will be mentioned first, with my top ones at the end. Fun fact for you, Kokoro can mean heart in Japanese, so it's fitting she's the waifu that kicks off this list. Even though Hitomi was the first Dead or Alive girl I learned to play properly, Kokoro was the one who caught my attention most in Dead or Alive 5. She's a geisha in training, and she is shown to have a sweet disposition in all of the Dead or Alive games she has appeared in, even if she is a bit bratty and prone to overreactions. Also, let's face it, she's one of the cutest characters in a game full of bombshells. Also, I love torturing my editor with her crab walk. I'll admit, bubbly tomboys are my main type. Usually I prefer dark-haired ladies to blondes, but I love Cassandra. Her personality is fun, she's fun to play as, because Bamco actually make her bubbly disposition a core part of her gameplay, as she's incredibly quick. She's another character I love torturing both of my editors with. My sadistic side aside, Cassandra is just mega cute and is again some of my favorite traits in a single package. Honestly, I cannot wait to see her potential glow up for Unreal Engine 5 when we eventually get that. I imagine Soul Calibur 7 is coming, and probably sooner than you think. I love redheads. If a character is a redhead, I'm going to more than likely have an affinity for them. I also love that Vanessa is what a lot of people would call a MILF. My friend Osmic pointed that out in his video response to my DOA Build the Roster video. Card should be popping up now for both videos. But I love that Vanessa is mature. I love that she's so overzealous with her punching that she makes her own hands hurt. Also, there's just something alluring to a lady secret agent, and like every other character on the list so far, she's one I love using to troll editor Belmont and our friend John McBaugh with. I guess my dirty laundry is I love using my waifus to troll my editors. But yeah, Vanessa continues the tomboyish trend. Speaking of tomboys, we're covering yet another SNK gal in the next entry. I imagine my editor will have something to say on this one, and he can cut in a response if he wants to. However, Leona is the first character where things started to mildly click for me. Her speed was good enough that I could use some of her pokes, even if they were ineffective against a certain troll in our friend group. Either way, I was drawn to Leona as she's tall, and I like tall women a lot. Also, SNK have clearly gotten Leona's design right, as it has changed very little since she was first introduced with the King of Fighters 96. Also, if you know Leona's sad backstory, then you'll know why I just want to give this character a hug. Maybe I'll start doing SNK lore videos someday. If that interests you, let me know in the comments. Okay, while we will be covering another Trails lady in the final entry, I had to include my first Trails waifu, Laura S. Arseid. Why was she my first waifu in the Trails series? Because when I first played Cold Steel 1, I felt like her and Reen were a perfect match for each other. Her calmness suits Reen's neurotic tendencies, and they're both on the path of the sword. It's almost like Falcom toyed with the idea of making Laura the canon romance option at one point. Plus, there's the whole fact Laura is of minor nobility and Reen was adopted by a minor noble. Also, both of their dads have high amounts of respect for one another. We also know that arranged marriages are a thing in the Erebonian Empire, thus it's conceivable that might have been a potential match had Falcom gone that route. I also love the interactions between Reen and Laura. They're both odd ducks. They also complement each other well, with Laura able to snap Reen out of his misery and vice versa. Why Laura makes my waifu list though is from the fact Falcom made her incredibly pretty and she has an absolutely beautiful design, one I feel is befitting of a noble. Falcom was able to make a very simple character model look great in almost every situation. Also, here's another thing that leads some credence to my point: Falcom may have wanted to explore Reen and Laura as a couple. Look at their coats in Cold Steel 3. They have some similar detailing. While Laura is a great waifu, she isn't Reen's #1 best option, and she isn't the best option for me either. But damn do I love this character. Yep, another SNK girl makes the list. Bonne Jenet. What can I say? She's tall, she's bubbly, and happy-go-lucky. The traits I tend to look for. Also, I have a strong affinity for the character because she's the first one in the King of Fighters that clicked for me. You always have an affinity for that first character in a fighter where things start clicking, and I can already hear editor Belmont firing up his vocal cords for a rant regarding how I play Jenet. But of all of the characters on this list, Bonne Jenet is one that really gives me the warm and fuzzy feelings because she was able to foster my love for SNK as a developer. We're into another fighting game character after Bonne Jenet though. Dead or Alive is the game that fostered my love of fighting games. This channel would not be in the form it is today if it weren't for Siege Sensei rambling about Dead or Alive to the point I felt like I was missing out not giving it a try. So big thanks go out to him for giving me that little push to get me out of my comfort zone of, at that point, basically just whatever PlayStation exclusive was hot at the time. He was also my gateway into Falcom games. So, who makes the 7th entry on this list? It's Hitomi from Dead or Alive. I love this character for much the same reason I love Bonne Jenet, a character that fostered my love for fighting games. With Hitomi being super simple to use, she was the ideal character for me to start on after Kokoro proved too hot to handle. Just like Kokoro and Cassandra, I cannot wait to see the next gen take on Hitomi. Our last 3 on the list are all going to be from the Trails series. Rieveldt is probably the oddball on my list. She's not bubbly or tall, though you could argue she is tomboyish. Honestly, it's mostly down to how damn intriguing she is as a character and the complexity of her. It's fun to watch her story unfold over 4 games, and Falcom again managed to do less is more with her character model. Also, her Civil War outfit and her outfit during the endgame of Cold Steel 4 is absolutely amazing to look at, and yes, my saying endgame was essentially alluding to the fact Trails of Cold Steel 4 was like the climax of an MCU phase. I had to include Estelle. She's basically my ideal type, bubbly and tomboyish. I think a lot of Trails fans will agree with me on this entry too because Estelle is such an endearing character, it easily makes her waifu material. The reason Estelle is so damn endearing is because she's so funny, socially awkward, and her bimbo tendencies make for some great comedy, and unlike a lot of bimbo characters, Estelle actually feels like an honest bimbo, and not just a bimbo trope for the sake of being a bimbo trope. Somehow, it all just feels natural. I think this entry is going to shock everyone in the audience, my having Emma Millstein as my #1 waifu. For this video, I'll be covering why she's my #1, and that'll transition nicely into my video on why Emma should have been the canon waifu for Reen. That video will come out a couple hours after this one, so stay tuned for that. I love Emma because she's mysterious, kind, incredibly smart, and despite being a soft marshmallow, she's a soft marshmallow with barbed wire on the outside. She's sassy, but sweet, and that's an archetype I love. Also, well, just look at this collage of pictures and I think you'll get an idea of why I love the character so much. But yeah, Emma has the vast majority of traits I love. So there's my list. I hope you enjoyed me crushing out on some of my favorite video game characters, and if you found it cringe, fuck off. That was the point of this video. It was meant to be cringy for comedic reasons. Either way, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. 2 of my previous videos will be popping up on screen now, and until next time, keep blazing that trail.